This video will take you through the process of writing a rhetorical analysis body pair. So we start off with our topic sentence. And for my topic sentence, I want to make sure that I identify the rhetorical choice being used and the reason it's being used. So I wrote, in 5 Days at Memorial, Sherry Fink employs the use of descriptive language and sentence structure to criticize our government's response to Hurricane Katrina. Descriptive language and sentence structure are the rhetorical choices, and then the reason it is being used is identified within that phrase, to criticize. After I write my topic sentence, then I want to include my textual evidence. So I write, for example, that transitional phrase helps to identify the fact that I am going to add on evidence. For example, her description of the hospital staff surviving on, and then I have my quoted text, catnaps, bottled water, and rumors, highlights, so I have what it does, the fact that these people gave so much of themselves to care for the patients while they were running themselves ragged, desperate for food, rest, and hope. Right here, this part, the fact that these people gave so much, that is my commentary. So sometimes your evidence can be included and embedded within your commentary. You don't necessarily have to always think of them as two separate sentences. Now, after that, I move on to a second bit of textual evidence. The paragraph ends with the hospital staff looking at the patients they tried in vain to care for. Here, I could have just said the paragraph ends with the hospital staff looking at the patients, but I'm adding a bit more analysis when I add on they tried in vain to care for. It was not included within the passage, but it's a conclusion I can draw from the details that were given to me. And now I go on to expand on my textual evidence. So I say, the only sentence referring to the patients is a fragment, which is meant to emphasize the fact that while the helicopters promise refuge, they do not promise an escape from the horrifying experience or promise survival for these patients. So what you see again is I refer to the sentence, and then I explain what it is meant to do, so that's my commentary. And then here, they do not promise an escape from the horrifying experience or promise survival for these patients. Again, it's an inference I'm making from the details. Now, if I ended the paragraph here, I would have an okay paragraph, but it would read more like summary. So I need to add some more commentary to ensure that my paragraph is not a summary of the text, but rather an analysis. And remember, rhetorical analysis is us understanding how textual evidence or language is used to persuade an intended audience. So here's what I'm ending my paragraph with. By describing the patients as sweat-soaked stretchers, okay, so I have textual evidence again, Fink demonstrates the dehumanizing effects this experience had on the patients and the staff. Again, I'm adding in more of my commentary that is meant to explain the effects. And now I'm still not done because it still is like in between analysis and summary. This last sentence helps to push it to rhetorical analysis. The government's slow response reduced these patients to mere objects, and her reader, let me go back. This should have been highlighted. So I wrote, by describing the patients as sweat-soaked stretchers, Fink demonstrates the dehumanizing effects this experience had on the patients and the staff. And then I end with this really kind of quick trick to force yourself to move from summary to analysis, which is the use of the word thus. Thus, her readers are forced to recognize the truth. The government's slow response reduced these patients to mere objects, and her readers are left questioning how this could have happened. Right there, I have finished my analysis by including that phrase, thus, and then following it with a description of what her readers are meant to do. Remember, purpose is what is the audience intended to do with the message. And then I give more context and information, and I end it again by talking about the readers. So, review this video. Make sure that you internalize what the key elements of a rhetorical analysis paragraph are. For your Unit 1 exam, you will be writing a rhetorical analysis essay. You'll have a thesis statement and 2 body paragraphs to write a complete essay.